Ever imagine getting like a surprise financial boost?
Yeah.
That's what a tax refund can feel like, right?
Right.
But the road to getting that refund isn't always straightforward. Before we get too far into it,
Yeah.
if you're finding this information helpful, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future conversations.
Absolutely.
It seems like the landscape is shifting this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Fewer people are filing tax returns, but the average refund amount has gone up.
It has. Quite a bit.
Quite a bit. And that's what's so interesting about this year.
So fewer filings, but bigger refunds.
Yeah.
What's behind that trend?
It's a good question, and there's probably not one single answer. It
Right.
could be a mix of things, like changes to tax laws or deductions or credits. Those can all have a big impact.
Makes sense?
There could also be demographic shifts or changes in income levels that affect who's filing and how much they're getting back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a lot of moving parts. Yeah. It's definitely something to watch as we navigate this tax season.
For sure.
Now, if you're hoping to get your refund quickly, the IRS aims to process e-filed returns within 21 days.
Yeah.
If you're still filing on paper, though, be prepared to wait potentially 4 weeks or more.
Exactly. Filing early usually means a faster refund.
Right.
However, there's a little bit of a caveat for those claiming the Earned Income Tax Credit or the Additional Child Tax Credit.
The EITC and ACC?
Uh-huh.
Could you elaborate on that a bit?
Absolutely. So the IRS takes extra care to verify those claims.
Okay.
So refunds for those credits might not arrive until early March.
Okay, so a little more patience required for those specific credits.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I've also heard about this thing called a refund surprise, where people actually get their refunds earlier than expected.
Yes, that happens sometimes.
Really?
It has to do with bank processing policies. So some banks release the funds as soon as they get the signal from the IRS.
Wow.
Even if it's before the official deposit date.
Interesting.
So if your refund status says sent, but it's not in your account yet, don't panic right away.
Right.
Your bank might just be ahead of the game.
That's good to know. Now let's talk about the Where's My Refund tool.
Yes.
It's like a GPS for your refund.
That's a great analogy. It's a super useful tool on the IRS website that lets you track your refund's progress.
Okay.
If you filed electronically, you can start checking it 48 hours after you submit your return.
Got it.
For paper filers, it takes about 4 weeks for any updates to appear.
Okay.
The best part is once the IRS processes and approves your return, you get a personalized refund day.
Oh.
So you can mark your calendars and start thinking about how you want to use that refund.
I love this. A personalized refund day definitely adds to the excitement.
For sure.
But what about those dreaded delay codes? Those could be a bit confusing.
It can.
How much should people know about them?
Those codes can definitely cause some anxiety.
Yeah.
Codes 570 and 971 are the ones that tend to trip people up.
Okay.
Code 570 means the IRS has put your refund on hold for review. And code 971 means they've sent you a notice, which often means they need more information from you.
So if you see those codes, it doesn't necessarily spell disaster.
Not at all.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just a routine check. The IRS might be double-checking your wages or credits before releasing your refund.
Got it.
If they do need more information, they might ask for things like your W-2 or 1099 forms.
Okay.
So it's always a good idea to have those documents handy just in case.
Good advice. Now, there are also some other tax topics and notices that people might encounter.
Right.
What can you tell us about those?
Well, tax topic 152 is a common one, but it's nothing to worry about.
Okay.
It simply means your return is being processed normally.
Okay.
Tax topic 151, however, might mean the IRS has made adjustments to your refund.
Oh.
Possibly reducing it due to outstanding debts or errors.
Oh, that's not what you want to see. What happens in that situation?
The IRS will send you a notice explaining the adjustment, and you have the right to appeal if you think it's incorrect.
Good to know. What about the CPO-5 notice? Yes. What does that one entail?
The CPO-5 notice means the IRS is taking a closer look at your return.
Okay.
Reviewing everything from your income and withholdings to any credits you claimed and even business income if applicable.
Wow.
This review process can take up to 60 days.
Oh my goodness.
Although it can be faster if the IRS already has your employer information.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's no way to speed it up. So patience is key here.
Patience is definitely a virtue during tax season.
It is.
Speaking of things that might require a bit of extra attention, what about the 12C letter?
That's an important one to pay attention to.
Okay.
The 12C letter means the IRS needs you to send them additional documents before they can process your return. It's often sent to verify the income you reported.
Got it.
The key is to respond quickly.
Okay.
Within 20 days.
Wow.
To avoid further delays.
Oh.
Have any of these codes surprised you so far?
Uh,
Let us know in the comments, and if you're enjoying this conversation, don't forget to hit that like button.
that's great advice. Responding quickly is crucial.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to some more positive signs.
If your Where's My Refund tool shows that your code 570 has changed to 571, and then you see that glorious code 846, it means your refund has been issued and is on its way.
That's the moment we all wait for.
It's like getting the green light.
Exactly. But what if your refund is smaller than you expected?
Yeah.
What are some reasons that might happen?
That can be disappointing for sure. A smaller refund could be due to a few things. It could be a simple math error on your tax return, or you might have outstanding debts like unpaid student loans or child support that the IRS is taking out of your refund. Sometimes people forget about those kinds of financial obligations.
So it's always a good idea to double check those numbers and make sure everything is accounted for.
Absolutely. And the IRS will always send you a notice explaining any adjustments they make to your refund so you're not left in the dark.
That's reassuring. Now, what about identity verification? I've heard the IRS might ask for that before releasing your refund.
That's right. The IRS is taking extra steps to prevent fraud, so they might ask you to verify your identity online, or they might schedule an in-person appointment at an IRS office. If you have to go to an IRS office, make sure you bring your photo ID, your social security card, and any relevant tax documents.
So being prepared is key.
Exactly. Now, there's one code you hopefully won't see, but it's good to be aware of just in case. It's code 841, which means your refund has been canceled.
Oh, wow. That doesn't sound good. What can you do if that happens?
Don't panic. You'll need to initiate a payment trace with the IRS. Basically, you're asking them to track down your refund and figure out what happened. It might take a little extra effort, but it's worth it to get your refund back on track.
Okay, good to know there's a process for that. Are there any other proactive steps people can take to avoid delays or problems with their refunds?
One thing I always recommend is checking your Social Security earnings record. The IRS uses that information to verify your income, so if the wages you report on your tax return don't match what the IRS has on file, it could cause a delay.
That makes sense. How can people check their earnings record?
The easiest way is to set up an online Social Security account. You can review your earnings history there before you file your taxes, and that can help ensure a smoother refund process.
Great advice. It sounds like a little preparation can go a long way when it comes to tax refunds.
It really can. Understanding the timelines, those codes we talked about, and some of the potential hiccups that can happen can make the whole process less stressful.
Absolutely. And remember, if you're ever unsure about something, it's always a good idea to reach out to the IRS or a tax professional for help.
I completely agree. It's always better to ask questions than to make assumptions, especially when it comes to your finances.
Well said. So to wrap things up, what is some key takeaway you'd like our listeners to remember about navigating the world of tax refunds?
First, don't wait until the last minute to file. Filing early can help you get your refund faster. Second, familiarize yourself with those codes we talked about. Knowing what they mean can help you avoid unnecessary anxiety and take action if needed. And finally, remember that you're not alone in this. The IRS and tax professionals are there to help you if you have questions or run into any problems.
That's great advice. Tax season can feel overwhelming, but breaking it down like this makes it much more manageable.
Exactly. And remember that tax refund represents your hard-earned money, so it's worth taking the time to understand the process and make sure you're getting what you deserve.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, it really does.
It does.
Make you feel better when you understand it.
Right. You feel more in control.
Yeah, exactly. So we've covered a lot of ground here, from the latest trends in tax refunds to those sometimes confusing codes and notices.
Right.
What's the most important thing you want listeners to take away from this conversation?
I think the biggest takeaway is that navigating tax refunds doesn't have to be a mystery. By understanding the timelines, those codes, and some of the potential issues that can arise, you can feel more confident and in control of the process.
That's so true. Knowledge really is power, especially when it comes to our finances.
It is.
And remember, if you need help, the IRS and tax professionals are there to guide you.
Absolutely.
Don't hesitate to reach out.
They are. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Great point. There are resources you can tap into. Any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap up?
Just a reminder that the tax system might seem complex, but knowing the ropes can help turn that potential financial boost into a reality.
So well said. And if this conversation has been helpful for you, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future discussions. Be sure to share this with your friends who might be on their own tax refund journey. We're all in this together.